And in that moment, I swear we were infinite. Great quote from the Stanley Kopowski novel. I think that's his last name, Kopowski. The great Stanley Kopowski novel, Perks of Being a Wallflower. Hi, I'm B-Bake, and you're watching Buried Treasure. Now, this is a buried treasure because not a lot of people have heard about this book. I think there's only one person I've met in my life who has read Perks of Being a Wallflower. And I gotta say, it's probably one of the best books I've ever read. And it's so underrated, and no one has read about this, talked about this, analyzed this, but this book is really well done. I mean, it's one of those books you'd probably see as like someone's coffee stand, or it'd be one of those books you'd see in the library at school and just pass it by. But it's actually, I consider it like the 90s The Catcher in the Rye. Now, before everyone hounds me for that, I'll say it's not exactly like The Catcher in the Rye, but but there's a lot of similarities between this. But first, let me talk about why this book is buried. Well, first of all, no one's ever heard of it. Like I said, I've talked to people. I said, hey, ever heard of Perks of Being a Wallflower? I get nothing. No one says, yeah, I've read that, or yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Nothing. No one has ever talked about this book, and I've always wondered why. It's so well written. I probably read it at the best time of my life when I was going through a couple of confusing things. It was so relatable, much like The Catcher in the Rye. So, let me talk about the book first before I go on about stupid bullshit like that. So, this book stars a protagonist named Charlie. His last name isn't given, so we're just assuming he's Charlie. And the book is written in a letter format, so most people say that he's writing letters to God. Most sources say maybe he's writing to his friend who kills himself in the beginning of the book. So maybe some people say to his aunt who died, whatever. But this book deals with a lot of great stuff like sex and death and drug use and just growing up in America. It's really well done. So Charlie, before I get off topic again, so Charlie just lives his life, a regular teenager, but he goes through the motions because he's a freshman, he has senior friends, he doesn't have any of his own age, but he still hangs out with people, and he's kind of shy, he's a nerd, he loves reading books, he loves watching movies, he mentions a lot of popular movies and books that make this book a lot more relatable, in my opinion, than The Catcher in the Rye. Don't get me wrong, I love that book. In fact, I did a whole video about how much I loved it. But I feel like that one I couldn't really relate to Holden since he didn't like movies. But maybe it's the equivalent of something like rap music today. But overall, this book is one you might want to pick up. It's pretty good. I'd say the reason why mine's so beat up and torn is because, well, being in a school backpack for half a year, it's not really going to do much. And it's kind of funny because it's weird how I found this book. It was laying on my bedroom floor because I was cleaning out my room and found my younger brother's backpack. And, we had to read it for silent reading or something at our school. And it's like one of those books where you just pretend you're reading it, but I saw the title, and automatically, Perks of Being a Wallflower, that hooked me, because, I'm a wallflower, I'm a geek, I'm a nerd, I want to read about a character who I can relate to, and I feel like this wasn't as, exaggerated as most high school stories, like, I'm a nerd, I can't get a date and no one likes me. No, it's different. He's adored by people, but he still is, an outsider. Another thing I like to talk about is the music they suggest in this book. Like the song I was playing at the beginning of the video was Sleep by the Smiths. Just those empty sounds and that kind of sad piano beat. It's kind of touching because it's kind of like what this book is about. He's there and he's observing everything, much like a wallflower, rather than just, he's not necessarily a key factor in all the drama that's going on, but he's observing everything. And that's what I like to think of this. It's the first time where we see someone else's perspective, because you always know someone who's always there, but isn't really part of what's going on. Now, I did make a video about this before, but as usual, YouTube's fucking retarded, and I can't usually get an 8-minute video on for some reason. I don't know. So I gotta make this quick. I wanna talk about more things, but like I said, YouTube has to be stupid and not load all my videos up. So the point is, this is a great book. Please read it. It's really well done. Just tune in next week for a new episode of Buried Treasure. and I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Go to bed, sleep with me, just